Thank you. Good for him. Mm-hmm. Academy over there. Yeah, he really had proven himself. Does he have a? Year. Did you grade like?
Okay. Yep.
It's 7 o'clock and it's time to call the Ferrysburg City Council meeting to order for Monday, October 7th, 2024. Amber, could you call roll, please?
Councilmember Montgomery. Councilmember Sias.
Here.
Councilmember Murdoch. Here. Councilmember Kate.
Here.
Councilmember DeWitt.
Here.
Councilmember Sturley.
Here.
Mayor Carlson.
Here.
Hunter?
Yes.
I'd make a motion to excuse Mr. Montgomery.
Support. Motion and support.
Councilmember Sias.
Yay.
Councilmember Sturley.
Yeah.
Councilmember Murdoch. Yes. Councilmember Montgomery. Sorry, Councilmember DeWitt.
Yes.
Councilmember Kate.
Yes.
Mayor Carlson.
Yes.
Little line through that.
Very good. Thank you, Amber.
You're welcome.
Moving on to number 3, the invocation by Pastor Justin Smith of Emmanuel Free Church, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. If we can all stand.
Thank you for the honor of inviting me to come and pray. Our Heavenly Father, this evening as this meeting commences, we lift our eyes to you, the maker of the heavens and the earth, and the one who rules with perfect wisdom over all that your hands have made. And tonight, Lord, as this meeting begins, we pray for those in government here in the city of Ferrysburg. God, that as you have placed them in these positions, that, Lord, they would steward their responsibilities well, with wisdom, for the good and the best interest of Ferrysburg. We pray, Father, that you would grant wisdom to them and to the members of the community who are here tonight, and that the agenda that is out before them, Lord, they would be able to resolve, Lord, and to come up with solutions and to, Lord, pass things that are in good judgment. And, Father, that as comments are made, I pray, Father, that that all things are able to work out for the good of each one here and for the community, the city of Ferrysburg. We thank you, Father, for good government, and we know, Lord, that you provide these things for the good of the people of this world, and we pray, Father, that things are done well here tonight and in the days ahead. We think of those, Father, with health issues. God, be with them in a special way. Those probably people here tonight, Lord, who are facing difficult circumstances, and by your grace, I pray, Father, that they are able to get through those things and face those things. But Lord, be particularly tonight with the members who are here leading. We give you the thanks and we give you the glory, and we thank you for it all through the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. Time for public comment now. This time on the agenda is for any citizen to direct brief comments or questions to the city council. Time for public comments will be given when the agenda is discussed. If you have a comment or question, please raise your hand to be recognized by me. And after being recognized, please give your name and address for the record and proceed with your question or comment. And let's try to limit our comments to 3 minutes. Do we have any public comment tonight? Someone, please.
How's it going, Council? My name is Jason Larabelle at 1681 Virginia Avenue, also known as Beagleman's Patio. That's the reason I'm here tonight. There seems to be a little confusion on what we do, so I just wanted to come to you guys with our mission statement. And that is to mindfully provide locally grown produce at no cost while encouraging community growth through inclusion, compassion, accessibility, and participation. Beagleman's Produce Stand is always free of charge as we believe the need for it and the positive impact of local fresh farming and to access to healthy produce regardless of income, background, or needs. We are not affiliated with any religious, political, or private organizations. We root our beliefs and goals in basic principles that we all share on this earth. Financial contributions and donations are not accepted. We find it more valuable to encourage others to donate their time or energy to helping their neighbors and community members. And I'll have my wife come up and discuss a little bit more with you guys. Thank you.
Hello, Council. Nicole Larabelle, 16814 Virginia Avenue. So far in 2024, we have provided the community with over 200 tomato plants, 150 pepper plants, and 50 eggplant seedlings we started from seed. We gave away 5 birdhouses. We collected seeds on our stand from community members. We put seeds out for free. We started sunflowers, zinnias, and dozens of other types of flowers. When we gave these away, we saw plants throughout our neighborhood. That's a positive thing we can all enjoy. We had our home in Ferrysburg and our new garden in Spring Lake Township inspected by the Michigan Department of Agriculture, and we were found to be in compliance with their guidelines. We have started designing a new free produce stand at our new garden. This is in Spring Lake Township. Our goal in 2025 is to keep the produce separate and keep produce grown in Spring Lake Township and Spring Lake Township. Ferrysburg produce grown at our home will continue to be handed out to the community members for free. We do this all to build a community that is aware of and supports agriculture. We believe in the need for plants to be given away, and we rally to save farmland in our communities. Handing out something for free at residential properties is not prohibited by any zoning ordinance, city, state, or federal. This is not a home occupation. And I just wanted to respond to the email that you all received from David Cook. Accepting donations was never done. We still have the planner and the photo that was in your packet. The post and reference is from July 4, 2023, and posted on my personal Facebook page, not the Beagleman's Patio page. Our garden is our hobby, not our occupation. We do not make any money for our gardens. Quite the opposite. We both work full-time jobs that are unrelated to gardening. We garden for free for fun in our free time. We have moved our stand back from the intersection, and we have notified Facebook followers and visitors in person to park on our side of the intersection. We are happy to address any questions or comments from City Council or city officials. Anybody have any questions?
Thank you, Nicole. I've taken advantage of some of your things, and I've got tomato plants from you, so I think you do a great job.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Your Honor, I have a question for Craig. Craig, were they found in any violation of the zoning of the city?
Yes.
I did get that letter in our packet. The things that Nicole mentioned tonight, does that address any of those zoning issues?
So she's been noticed, and if she wants to appeal that, she would have to go to the zoning board of appeals, that determination that she's in violation of the zoning ordinance.
Okay. Nicole, you're aware of the zoning ordinances that are in question?
Well, I have a question about the zoning ordinance because it doesn't really define what a roadside stand is. It just says that they can only be allowed on farm operations. So our question was, if we move the farm stand back from the road, are we in compliance? And Craig said no. If it's on the property, it's not in compliance.
Okay.
So it sounds like we need to go to the ZBA for a decision.
Yeah.
But we don't know if we need a variance from a zoning ordinance or if they can just turn this over. We're not sure yet on the next step.
Okay. Well, I can tell you that I applaud you and I applaud your mission. And I really hope that, that zoning board of appeals can find something that appeases both sides of the party and the complainant as well. I really hope that, they see the good that you provide to our city, and, I hope that they can overlook a few zoning ordinances in your case. We've done it in the past for other folks, and I really hope that, they can see the need for what you're trying to accomplish. So I again want to applaud you and thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask the city manager about the process, but before I do that, is there anyone else that'd like to say anything on council?
Sure. Craig, how many other stands we got in the city?
I'm sorry?
How many other stands we have in the city? I know of at least 5, so just so you're aware that, you're opening a can of worms here that's, you know, just so you're aware.
Right.
Yes.
I'd like to, there are 5 other are those, produce stands, or are they different type? What are you?
Mrs. Johnson has, blackberries, I don't know what all out there, around 168. Now, I'm assuming that this includes, like a kid has a lemonade stand. They're making it for money. You're opening a can of worms here that, could, be an issue with a lot of people.
Okay. Anyone else that hasn't spoken?
I have something to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to first off start by saying that I appreciate the thought behind your operation. Clearly, you're showing kindness through doing this for the community, and your mission is to help people that are in need through this. It's very neighborly. On the other hand, I have to say that you have neighbors that are adjacent to you that are expressing issues with this. My hope is that there can be some sort of compromise where your direct neighbors and the community at large are both happy with how you move forward. I can understand the concerns of direct neighbors with increased traffic, with parking alongside the road. I can understand, from my viewpoint, I live in a neighborhood, a very residential neighborhood, Harbor Point. We just had a new neighbor move in. And if that neighbor operated a stand that was open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and there was cars and a lot of people around my house, I would probably have some issue with that. Because I've moved into that neighborhood knowing that it was a residential, quiet neighborhood. So I can understand the issues that your direct neighbors may have, but I can also appreciate the kindness that you're showing what you're trying to do. So bottom line is that I hope there's some kind of compromise here and that all parties involved can feel like they're getting something out of it. That's it.
Thank you.
I too live in Harbor Point, and for years, my next door neighbor gave swimming lessons in her pool every day, 5 days a week. My street was a zoo. It was awful. They blocked my driveway. It was just terrible. Kids screaming all day in the pool next door to me. But I was a good neighbor. I sucked it up, and I let it go for the good of other people.
Craig, I had a couple of questions, and that is, could you explain the process of going through ZBA and how that's going to happen? Because that's part of the process of coming to some resolution, correct?
Right.
And then, how does the city regulate when we have a neighborhood library that somebody's got in their front yard? How is that handled?
The sharing boxes are regulated by the zoning ordinance. They're allowed with certain conditions on a street that has a sidewalk or bike path.
We don't meet the
So-
condition because we don't have a sidewalk.
So a determination has been made that this operation is in violation of certain zoning ordinances.
Okay.
If she disagrees with that interpretation, she can file an application with the zoning board of appeals and ask them, the ZBA, to interpret the zoning ordinance, whether it was determined right or incorrectly.
Okay, very good. Clear?
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
you bet.
Sorry I spoke out of turn. I didn't mean
It's
to.
all right, it's all right. We try not to interrupt. Any other additional public comment? Yes, sir.
Terry Grotem at 17130 Spar, and I have a complaint about the rental property at 17116 Spar. It's a short-term rental. Their trash pickup is Monday, but they put it out on Friday, and even in the newsletter that come out, it's not supposed to be out there. There's loose bags of trash. I've called the city on it several times, but nothing seems to be done about it. Also, they have cars parked on the street overnight. It's a cul-de-sac. It makes it real difficult to make a turnaround, and when the trash trucks come, they can't turn around. That's my main complaint, and the other thing is the Tigers were ahead 3-0 with 2 out in the top of the 9th when I came over here.
Yep, me too. What was the address on Spire again, sir?
17116.
Can I respond to him?
Go ahead.
Just FYI, we've gotten some emails about short-term rentals lately. I have a feeling that we're going to be discussing this in a meeting coming up. So I think if you pay close attention, we may address some of these concerns in the near future.
Your Honor,
Yes.
can we direct Craig to send him a letter, and if it's not taken care of properly, to fine them or revoke their license, one or the other? We have the ability to do both.
If they're licensed.
They need to get 3 violations before they get a citation, but we'll look into this real heavy.
I would say this is number 1. We got 2 more to go.
Sure. Any additional public comment? Yes.
So I wrote it down. And it sounds like maybe I need to go to the ZBA to discuss this, but I'm here. My kids and husband are in the car, so I'm just gonna say it here too. Good evening, Molly Ziegler, 18282 Christina Court, Spring Lake Township, but I'm a frequent flyer in Ferrysburg. I'm here in support of Beagleman's Patio. Are you aware that Ferrysburg residents have more than 2 yard signs on their property? People are putting their garbage out before 6 p.m. the night before service, and people are having farm stands and selling eggs. Those are small infractions, but how can the city pick and choose which you will enforce? There are many ordinances being broken in communities that make the community look bad, and Beagleman Patio is not one of them. We live in such a divisive world where happy stories are few and far between. A couple doing what they love and providing free, healthy food to the community is at risk. The idea of a free produce stand being shut down seems crazy, but perhaps it's exactly what's wrong with our world today. Admittedly, I don't know the ins and outs, and I understand that there's neighbors involved too that have their properties. But wouldn't it be nice if the residents in the city could come together and find a way to make everyone happy in this situation? Many citizens have enjoyed the produce, including myself, and watching their idea come to life. I'm proud of what Skip and Nicole are doing with the stand, and I think that many in the community would agree with that. Okay,
Thank you.
back to the kids.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you. Appreciate the good public comments tonight. Anyone else? Yes, please.
Good evening. This is my first time at a Ferrysburg meeting. I'm pretty excited. So I'm Julie Cook. I live at 17605 168th Avenue. I'm what's wrong with this world today. Okay, just going to come out and say that right now, just so everybody knows. So I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but at one point Nicole has expressed concern about her privacy due to our camera on her garage. But she really shouldn't worry, because looking at her property is something I actively try to avoid every day. Sorry to say, it is increasingly the biggest eyesore I have ever seen, and it seems like every month there is something else that gets added to the yard. I can't even tell what's going on anymore. We and several other people have submitted complaints over the years. We are not the only ones, and this To be honest, this vegetable stand is just the cherry on top of a long list of things. If this were the only thing, I'd say, maybe we could live with it, but it's several things. We have submitted complaints, and the response that we consistently get back is the city attorney's looking into it. Okay, well, we don't really know how long that's going to take. So what we're concerned about here is the fact that if she had a stand permit, it would come with operating terms, right? Only open from 8 to 8, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., not 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That pool was only during, daylight hours. It was not at midnight, people coming by at all times of the day. Weekends, every single moment, it's open for business. There needs to be providing of adequate parking, which it sounds like that business was not doing that. So that's not good. I believe the farm stand also stipulates you need to have a limit of 5 visitors a day, which I don't really know how you're supposed to enforce that, but it says that. So those permit terms exist to prevent traffic hazards and prevent general congestion in the residential area, which seems to make sense to me. Obviously, if you're familiar with the property, there is a huge visibility issue looking out onto 168th when you're trying to leave the neighborhood. You literally can't see if anyone's coming from the right. It makes me nervous every time I leave. So it's a visibility issue there, and when you're turning left coming in, you can't really see what's waiting for you around the corner either, behind the overgrown bushes and shrubbery. This is a hazard. I mean, I'm not trying to be a vile person. This is a safety hazard. We have a pretty narrow street. We don't have a lot of space for parking, so even if they do park on that side, it's still really tight. If you're trying to leave at the same time someone is parked there, and then, God forbid, someone else should try to come in, I mean, it would be impassable. Visibility is an issue. So I hope people understand our issue is not the act of giving away free produce. Like, that's amazing. That's awesome. But everyone seems to be thinking that this is the only way to do it, which is kind of strange. There are tons of local food banks, tons of them. This is by far not the only way that you can, give away 200 tomato plants. You can give them away all over the place. This is not your only option. So our issue is not the act of giving away free produce. That would be ridiculous. Our concern is the congestion and safety concerns created from an improperly run produce stand that really just doesn't have the bandwidth. Our street is not equipped to handle that much traffic from it, at least not 24 hours a day. So my suggestion, one compromise would be, give it to local food banks. Problem solved. You can still, satisfy that altruistic, desire to do that. That would be a great option. Another option would be to provide adequate parking. I'd be all for it. Clear the driveway. There are 3 vehicles that sit in that driveway, one of which does not move. It has not moved in the 3 years that Dave and I have lived in our house. It has a flat tire. It doesn't. I can guarantee you that vehicle does not run, which is a huge violation. But apparently because it's insured, it's okay. So if that were to be moved, that would clear up one spot right there. And they usually don't have more than 1 visitor at a time to the produce stand. So there you go, there's your parking spot. It would be ideal if maybe we could clear up 1 or 2 other spots and clear out the garage. Then there's some space for everybody. I think that is about what I had to say. Oh, one more thing. The ZBA, Zoning Board of Appeals, if Nicole is called in as an alternate for that, there's going to be a huge conflict of interest, and I hope she recuses herself from that meeting to vote on her own property. So that's my list of concerns. Hope those all seem reasonable. My husband and I are not out to make anyone miserable. We just want our neighborhood to be, reasonably safe when we drive around. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? We do have a letter that we're gonna have read aloud that somebody sent in.
Okay.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Julia, one thing I did notice in your comments, you made it sound like there's tons of congestion and traffic at that corner. And then at the end of your comments, you said if they would only clear 1 spot, that's all that's ever there anyways, if that. So it's kind of it's kind of contradicting what you said. I mean, I understand that. I understand that. Okay, okay, and hopefully we can find something, you know, a compromise, like Jake had said, that where all parties can be happy and pleased, and, yeah, and I, thank you.
Thank you. Amber, so this is a letter sent into City Hall. Is that correct, Craig?
Yes, sir.
Public comment. Read that in, please.
Okay, yep. I'll be reading this on behalf of Dan Smith. The city of Ferrysburg has many residents who have many talents and gifts they wish to share with our community and to help make Ferrysburg a better place to live. However, Ferrysburg is getting a reputation that when these people step forward, volunteer, or attempt to share their talents and resources, they are met by political harassment and retaliation, whether it's running for an elected position or just trying to be a good neighbor and help others. These negative activities will have current and future influence on whether or not a person wants to get involved with the city, either in an elected position or just volunteering for needed causes. A person who wants to use her personal time and resources to donate food to those in need should be applauded. The city of Ferrysburg should welcome these types of people and find ways to assist them with meeting the city's guideline and ordinances so that their good works can be promoted, not chastised. I want to express my support for Nicole Larabelle and her husband's selfless work to provide fresh produce to those in our community who might need some. I would also ask the city of Ferrysburg to work with the Larabelles to work out the proper administrative permits needed for her to continue her work. The community of Ferrysburg needs more people like Nicole. Respectfully submitted, Dan Smith.
Thank you, Amber. Okay, moving on to agenda item 6A, approve the September 16th, 20.
I don't think they saw our hand.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Robin Vandenberg, 1006 South Harbor, Grand Haven, Michigan. I do own property in Ferrysburg, so I'm not just coming over the bridge to make any statements. But Nicole and Skip Stan is more than just providing the wonderful produce, it's also building community. Tonight I met this couple at the stand on my way over here, and we had a lovely conversation. All the time that people stop by, a lot of walkers, walking dogs, talking to everybody. It builds a great community. It's fine to say just give it to a food bank, but that doesn't build community in the way that this process. This couple here grew the sunflower seeds that were given away last year, and just have enjoyed them so much, and so many people have said how wonderful it is. Historically, that road has been used for parking for fishermen on the bridge. More parking is provided along the bridge now, but since Skip and Nicole have lived there, one person would come every year specifically and ask, is it okay to park here? It is community, like you said. You suck it up sometimes. Hopefully there is a compromise that makes everybody happy. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Yes. I want to. You bet.
My name is Brian Pereira, and I'm one of the, I live on William Street. I looked at your concerns. That street is narrow, Virginia Street is narrow. I live on William Street, that is narrow. Lake Street, that has more traffic, is narrow, but there's never been an accident. On the Virginia Street, there's never been an accident. In fact, when you come down 168 and making a right, her property is overgrown and you can't see to the right. On the if you're coming up, it's wide open. You can turn easily. If you're coming across from Virginia and crossing 168, it's wide open. People park on my street double. People slow down. There's never been an accident. Dogs walk. There's never been a dog accident. Nothing of that sort. So to try to change this community building spirit is, in my opinion, we are a community, we try to bring people together. This will, disrupt that community building. As I said, My wife and myself walked there by helping ourselves with the tomatoes. It was great. We talked to people there. That's what we need. We need community building instead of community disrupting. And if you look at the accident reports, there's been no accidents, there's been no worry. And their property is overgrown and impaired. So let's not say stop this great service community building done by them. Let's build community however way we want. Let's keep the stand there, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Greg, they're saying that there's overgrown bushes or whatever. Can that be taken out?
We can clear the corner so it's more visible, yes.
Pardon me?
We can clear the corner of it in the right of way of
that
this.
sounds like a problem, so.
We can look at that.
Anyone else with any public comment? Mr. Cook.
Oh geez, it's Dave Cook again. I think part of the problem is Nicole and I have some personal issues that we need to work out. I wish I could be able to do that, but Nicole has told me not to speak to her. I would like it stated on the record that I never asked City Council to shut the produce stand down. I simply asked for a legislative solution. We weren't getting the sort of response we wanted to from zoning enforcement, and there seemed to be some confusion as to what the stand actually was, how it could be regulated. I don't understand why the produce can't be given out in Spring Lake Township. If that land has more access for people to park and to get to. The concerns my wife mentioned are valid. There's parking issues. There's other issues with the property. 2 other citizens have complained about it. I think there was an issue with quail at one time, and then an issue with a non-operational vehicle and other things left. I'd be willing to work with Nicole and Skip to come up with some sort of compromise if they're willing to forgo us not speaking to them anymore. I also sent another transmission to City Council that I don't think Skip and Nicole saw, and it was an analysis of the Spring Lake Township property and just trying to understand why that property, again, cannot be used. It seems like it's in a better location. It has a lot more room. And another option maybe is 168th that's going to be repaved. Is there any chance that a parking spot can be put on 168th for people to safely exit their vehicle, access the produce stand in whatever condition it's in at the time, and then get back in their vehicle and continue on their way? Then there wouldn't be an issue with the corner and parking on a narrow street. Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional public comment? Seeing none. Let's move on to 6A, consideration for approval of the consent agenda. One item on it, approve the September 16th, 2024 City Council minutes as printed.
So moved.
Good support. Amber?
Councilmember Sturley.
Yes.
Councilmember Murdoch.
Yes.
Councilmember DeWitt.
Yes.
Councilmember Kate.
Yes.
Councilmember Sias.
Yes.
Mayor Carlson.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Agenda item 7A, new business. Discussion and take action if appropriate to approve a license agreement between the City of Ferrysburg and Jeff and Sue Kuhn to install a portion of seawall within the right-of-way on Cove Street. Craig?
So Cove Street dead ends into Spring Lake. The property owner to the east of Cove has recently purchased the property and wants to replace the seawall. He had the property surveyed and he determined that the seawall is 4.8 feet onto the city right-of-way. He's requesting a license agreement to replace that seawall with a new seawall in the same location. In your packets, a license agreement that was prepared by the city attorney. Mr. Kuhn has looked at it and he has approved it and has signed it. There's really no cost to the city. It's a benefit to the city really to keep that seawall as it is.
Your Honor?
Yes.
Oh, go ahead. I was gonna make a motion.
Yep.
Oh,
that's
okay.
what I'll entertain.
Unless you want to say something
Nope.
first? Okay. I would like to make a motion to approve the license agreement between the city of Ferrisburg and Jeff and Sue Kuhn to install a portion of seawall within the right-of-way of Cove Street.
Support.
Any further discussion on this item? Seeing none, Amber?
Councilmember Murdoch?
Yes.
Councilmember DeWitt?
Yes.
Councilmember Cape?
Yes.
Councilmember Sias?
Yes.
Councilmember Sturley?
Yes.
Mayor Carlson?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Moving forward, 7B, discussion and to take action if appropriate to approve a quote from Northern Pipeline Contractors, Inc. for $12,405.72 for the Cecilia Lane Ditch Project. Craig, can you educate us on this, please?
Yes. The property owner at the corner of Virginia and Cecilia Lane contacted the city and asked to have a ditch in his front yard enclosed. We looked into it. The public works supervisor got a couple quotes. Those are included in your packet. Recently, the city did Jean Street, which is in the same vicinity. We enclosed that ditch. That was a little bigger project, and it was less money than this one is. This one has a little more expense to it because the way the ditch outfalls into Spring Lake, we got to put a couple structures in there to tie the piping together.
And the homeowner is driving this, or is the city engineer
The
proposing
homeowner
this?
is.
The homeowner is.
Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Craig, I see in the homeowner's complaint that most of it is due to lack of upkeep by the city. It says that he's been taking care of this. Is there a reason why? Why wouldn't the city maintain this?
We can maintain it. We can clean it out.
Okay, well, according to his letter, I mean, that's his main concern, is that he just can't take care of it anymore, so.
He's
I think
concerned with the
maybe-
standing water also. He wants to have it enclosed.
Yeah, okay.
Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Craig, how many dump trucks does the city have?
3 or 3,
And we have a backhaul, right?
correct?
Why can't we just clean out the ditch and call it good? I'm thinking that if he wants to enclose this drain so he can mow his grass, I looked at it tonight, he just wants to mow his grass in his yard there, in front of his garage. Special assessment, what do you pay for it?
Is that drain on the normal rotation for cleanouts by the city?
We just do it as needed. We don't have a rotation on it.
Yeah, Craig, why is there standing water in a drain? That makes no sense. What's going on with the drain to where there's standing water and it doesn't need improvements? I mean, is the drain needed for the community, for the street? Will we lose drainage and
All
face
the wa-
possible flooding if we fill this in?
All the water flows into that ditch and then slowly outlets into Spring Lake.
Right.
All this water from the street.
And if it was
Virginia.
working properly, there shouldn't be retaining water. We shouldn't be retaining water, correct? I mean,
Well, yeah, it outlets
Ideally.
slowly.
all right. Well, I think we should have DPW go take a look at this and see if they can make improvements to address the standing water and, maintaining it better. I think that would solve the homeowner's complaint before we throw a bunch of money at it.
Your Honor?
Yes.
Craig, we just have one homeowner requesting this, correct?
Correct. Well,
Are there other?
I'll take that back. There's a property owner that contacted me last week who indicated that she would like to see the ditch enclosed as well.
Okay, so we have 2 homeowners is that, I guess my question is that going to drain that whole area of Cecilia Lane or just the very end of it? Because there is a drain going across halfway down to Spring Lake that we just cleaned out, correct?
Correct.
So we're talking about 2 or 3 properties?
I'm not sure how much of the scope, but some of that property from Virginia drains into there and coming down Cecilia drains into that.
It just seems to me that that's a whole lot of money for 1 or 2 houses that, that ditch has been there for, 50 years? And now because he built a new garage, he wants it filled in. I mean, I would like mine filled in too. Then I'd mow my grass all the way to the street. would you like?
That is in the same neighborhood we cleaned out, we had complaints on last year and cleaned out.
Right, it was between this intersection and 168th Avenue, just about in the middle, from Virginia to Cecilia, we cleaned out a drain. We didn't clean it out, we enclosed the ditch, we perforated pipe in there. That was around $9,000. And this one's more expensive because we gotta put the two structures in it.
To clean it out was $9,000.
We didn't clean it out, we enclosed it with pipe.
Connor, would you like a motion?
I would love one.
I would make a motion that, do not approve a quote from Northern Pipeline Construction for $12,405.72 for the Cecilia Lane ditch project.
Motion on the floor, do we have some support?
I support, but I would like to add that DPW needs to do a better job of maintaining these ditches. You know, yeah. So I'll support it, but I'd like to add that to the can I add that to the motion?
Absolutely.
All right, thank you.
Any further discussion from anyone?
I don't agree. I think that needs to be,
I'm sorry?
I don't agree with this. I think it should be taken care of. The DPW is not doing their job, then we should do it. Close that.
We can get it cleaned out.
And that's normally what we do with drains, and the first course of action shouldn't be enclosing the drain, I wouldn't think. We're gonna have every drain owner in town wanting to have their drains enclosed.
Correct.
Why don't,
We're still in discussion.
why don't we direct DPW to clean it out and then follow up with the citizen afterwards to see if made any improvement. Let's not close the door once it's cleaned out by our Department of Public Works. Let's follow up, make sure that they're happy with what's happened. And if they're not, then let's make sure that they are in the end.
I agree.
I agree.
Then we don't necessarily need a motion, do we? Just give direction to Craig and with that, or
Table
we
it?
still need a motion?
We need to table it?
What do you say, parliamentarian?
Well, we have a motion on the floor, it's been supported, so let's vote on that.
Okay. And the motion, Amber, was?
The motion is at this time to not approve a quote from Northern Pipeline Contractors, Inc. for $12,405.72 for the Cecilia Lane Ditch Project.
Have DPW
Question, Your Honor.
Yes.
Are we able to vote on this and then direct city staff afterwards?
That's what I was planning on,
Okay.
yes. Any other further discussion?
Jerry and Mike added that it would be cleaned out and maintained by the Public Works.
That's right, it is part of the motion.
Right, the motion was to deny it and to direct BPW to go over there and clean it out and go from there. In the future, if we have to, we have to, but first step.
It'll be on the radar.
Yep.
Okay. Any other discussion? Seeing none, Amber?
Councilmember DeWitt.
Yes, to deny.
That's
Correct.
correct.
Okay, thank you.
Councilmember Kate.
Yes.
Councilmember Sias.
Yes.
Councilmember Sterling.
Yes.
Councilmember Murdoch.
No.
Mayor Carlson.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Very good. Moving forward to 7C, discussion to take action if appropriate to approve a quote from M&A All Seasons Tree Service for $8,250 for the removal of trees. Craig, I have to preface my comment with that, and that is, wouldn't it be nice if we got 15 quotes for every city project like we did for the tree service?
Yes, it would be.
Unbelievable. Go ahead.
We got a number of quotes last year when we did this. In the fall, the Public Works, throughout the year, the Public Works keep a list of trees that need or seem to be dying or having issues. And once last fall, we did it in October as well. We went out for bid for to have these trees removed. The Public Works Department has identified the 7 trees. They were marked. We've had a number of bids come in. The low bid was MA All-Season Tree Service. Public Works Department has worked with them before, so I recommend approval of their bid.
Great. Entertain a motion, please.
I'll make a motion to approve the quote from M&A All Season Tree Service for $8,250 for removal of trees.
Support.
Whatever. Anyone have any discussion to add?
Your Honor,
Yes.
the city's used M&A before and been pretty happy with them.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
I have a question. Job description had written no cleanup.
The Public Works will do that.
Pardon me?
The Public Works Department will take care of that.
Okay, so you're having our people.
Yes.
Okay. And there's an addendum to the tree on Reindeers Avenue? What's that?
So we went out for bid and then we got contacted by the homeowner about a tree that, a branch fell down in the street and wanted us to look at it. So the Public Works Department went out there and looked at it. It's a large maple tree and it seems to be getting hollow on the inside.
Okay.
So we
Anyone
added
else?
that to the list.
Seeing none, Amber?
Councilmember DeWitt.
Yes.
Councilmember Kate.
Yes.
Councilmember Sias.
Yes.
Councilmember Sturley.
Yes.
Councilmember Murdoch.
Yes.
Mayor Carlson.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Good. Moving on to 7D, discussion and take action if appropriate to schedule a work session as a regular agenda item for October 21st, 2024. Craig? Yes, sir.
A suggestion, the work session on the rental rates is on tonight. I know that's near and dear to Mr. Montgomery's heart. Is that something we would like to flip to the next meeting?
I'd love to do that.
I'm throwing it out there.
This is the second time I've used that word with you today.
What's that?
Was it love?
Oh, geez.
Third. No, spreading the love.
No, it's Mr. Montgomery has definite. Yeah, and he's expressed an interest in it, and he's not here this evening. So, if it's agreeable to everybody, I'd like to throw it to the next meeting.
Okay.
Is that going to be all right for our
Yes.
existing contracts and everything?
Yep.
Okay. What
Craig?
did, go ahead.
I saw that you had suggested to us maybe a work session about the community energy plan.
Right. We want,
What needs to be addressed by our council in regards to that?
it's just information at this point. The committee has put together a plan. They want to go over it with city council, look at it, and then get some comments. They're going to the other municipalities as well. If there's any changes to that plan, and then it's going to come back to city council for approval.
Go ahead and add that to our next meeting.
That is the only thing that we had on suggested for the work session, correct?
Correct. And then today we received a request to have the rental ordinance looked at again by.
Okay.
So I don't know if you want to do that this month or next month.
You talking about for short-term rentals?
Yes.
What is council's feeling? Does council want to get involved in short-term rentals, or is this something that we need to send to planning commission?
I think it's something that's settled.
Okay.
Why are we gonna reopen something that's been in effect for what, 10 years now, 12 years?
There's concerns of enforcement. There's concerns that the landlords are not abiding by the ordinance, that they're renting less than 7 days, that there's maybe too many rentals in the city in certain locations.
Seems to me that's your job to enforce that, isn't it?
Yep.
Why isn't it getting enforced? That's my question.
It's to determine if it's short-term rental, if it's being rented every other day or something like that. It would take, I'm not sure how anybody really can enforce something like that. You would have to go to that house, look at who's parked there, who's coming, go there the next day, see that car's that changed, or, I mean, there's 200 rentals in the city.
As I stated in my comment at planning commission last week, if it's a manpower problem with City Hall, we certainly could change the ordinance and change the licensing agreements. These people are making money off of it. by renting their houses out, that would give you a 2% or 5% or whatever the city needs of the rental charge to be able to fund the city to properly, these people are gonna have to police themselves, and they'll police themselves because they're gonna pay for it. If that's the way it's gonna have to be, if they can't do it themselves.
Yep.
So revenue, we can afford the manpower with revenue.
Correct, but my question is, what was done on that, we had a complaint a while back, that, rental on Lakeview? Do you recall that, Craig?
Yep.
They rented, what, 6 times in 2 weeks?
So I think we sent them a notice of citation. Yeah.
That was looked into and there was a violation sent to them?
Yeah, we noticed them a couple times and then we finally issued a citation.
So now we noticed them twice? The next time is a revocation of their license, correct?
For the year.
Well, that's what needs to be done.
Yep.
You know, we need to get on top of enforcing this stuff. I realize you have plenty on your plate, but, you know, just like, yeah, on Cove there, he's made several complaints to you. He's made a bunch of complaints to me.
Yep.
And quite honestly, I'm tired of hearing it.
We've noticed that property owner a number of times.
Okay, so you've noticed him twice now?
They have to get a citation to count as a violation.
This is what needs to happen when something comes to your attention. You need to notice them, put it in the record, so the second and third time, we can revoke their license.
Yeah, that's what we do.
We
That's
need
the
to get
process.
some teeth in this thing and actually enforce what the ordinance says, and we don't have these problems. So I don't see why opening a discussion again on the law that's been, you know, what, 10, 15 years we wrote that?
About 10.
Yeah.
And it might be time for a little polishing, potentially.
Yeah.
To
No,
tighten it up. Yes, Jake.
That's what I was gonna say, Mr. Mayor, was that it's a 10-year-old ordinance that issues have arisen since, during that 10 years. I think it's prudent for us as a local government to take in people's concerns that have come about over the last 10 years and make sure that short-term rentals are a net positive for Ferrisburg moving forward. We've had some complaints. I've had neighbors personally make complaints to me. And I think that maybe issues have arisen over the past decade that maybe weren't foreseen when the ordinance was put in place by the city. And I don't think it hurts to revisit and reevaluate.
Well, we certainly had owner-occupied owners at Planning Commission last week complaining, and then again this evening. And so we need to be responsive to this.
So you want to discuss it here, or you want to take it to planning commission to have them review it and propose some changes?
For myself personally, I would lean to do it to planning, just because of the fact that it provides a more open forum between the public and the body, the planning commission. But I'm only one of 7. So what would you guys like to see? Planning or city
I'll
council?
do whatever you want.
Okay.
Don't care. Problem is enforcement. It's not the ordinance.
I
as written.
understand, but that'll be part of the process that we'll
Right.
work through to come up with something that's workable, that's gonna satisfy everybody.
I would say planning commission front there first and then.
I would approve of that
Sound fair
process
to
as
everyone?
well.
Jerry? Okay, all right. Okay, so we will not address it at city council as a work session, Craig?
Okay.
Okay.
So the next work session will be the community energy plan and the rental rates. So we have a couple leases coming up. We had a first reading on them. Are we okay with the first year of the price quoted, and then the second year is going to be different than what's in? We'll have to let them know what this renewal rate's going to be for the second year.
Carter, can we extend them for 30 days at their current level till we make a decision on the rental rates? We don't have to sign a 1-year contract, correct? we extend them for 30 days, that would allow us time to get everything in order as far as the rental rates and all that.
We can enter into a short-term agreement with them, yes.
Why don't we do that?
Okay.
An agreement?
Yep. That concludes our new business section. Now is the time for additional public comments. Does anyone have any comments? Yes, Regina?
Gina Schilberg, 17542B Parkwood Drive. In view of all the recent attacks on your administration, on some of its members, and on me, I thought it was important to bring forth some of the positive things that you've accomplished. When Richard Carlson ran against Rebecca Ha for mayor, an open letter to citizens dated September 15th, 2023 began, quote, "I am committed to running a Ferrisburg city government free of drama and infighting and with a genuine desire for collaboration over conflict." Mayor Carlson was inspired to run for office as he noted, quote, "Over the years, I've witnessed a Ferrisburg government that too often prioritizes its own interests over the desires of our citizens. These actions highlight a disturbing pattern of behavior that must change. Our citizens deserve a government they can trust, that truly listens to their concerns, and that acts in their best interests," end quote. It's my opinion that you are being successful in that noble quest, even though almost everything you do is under continual fire, mainly from disgruntled former political people. Now, under Scott Blease, the majority of you voted finally to enforce an ethics policy and also an accountability policy. Up to that time, we had nothing. People could spend as much money as they wanted. Rebecca Hopp spent $19,621,000. We had one mayor that actually went to Washington, D.C. for a Coast Guard change of command ceremony with his wife, and we paid for it. That won't happen anymore. Smith Bridge was open due to many of your input, even though citizens had to organize in order to get a second opinion. This administration has instituted an effective data-driven attainment and review procedure for goals, which is the first ever. We used to just say we were going to do these goals, and Craig kind of took care of them. And we go, well, did we do that or not? Yeah, we did. No, we didn't. Let's do a little more. This, you now have, thanks to Will, you have a real goal-oriented way to track what you're doing. This administration has looked at, reviewed, and considered the policy and options for lake treatment, and also we're not going to be paying for Grand Haven snowmelt system, thanks to you. New people are involved in boards and commission for the first time in years. Our recreation and beautification commissions are bringing fun, unifying activities to the city. Mayor Carlson is overseeing the Smith Bridge project since funds previously designated for the project solely from COVID funds became unavailable. Most importantly, you created an ad hoc committee, I believe it was Mr. Kate, Ms. Murdoch, and Mr. Sias, to review our charter issues, because there were loopholes in that charter that allowed Rebecca Hopp to weaponize our own charter to try to eliminate people that were competing against her for position. And that has to stop. It's absolutely wrong. People are sick of the constant Ferrisburg political upheaval. Disagreement is normal. Plotting and lying are not. From trying to eliminate your competition from the ballot to harassing government officials, every single one of your emails was FOIA'd. Now, if that's not harassment, I don't know what is. When you go to MPO meetings, you're being videotaped. Every move you make, what is the point of that? Are these the actions of anyone interested in transparency and election integrity? Are these the actions of someone with a giving heart? Or are they the actions of the kinds of ambitious, vengeful people who inspired Richard to run in the first place? I know many people that support you, and everyone to me is saying, we thought this was over. We thought this was over. One guy said, this is just jackassery, that you're being accused of buying a seat on the planning commission. It's ridiculous. We thought it was over. with your perseverance, it will be.
Thank you. City Council, speaking from City Council, we appreciate the kind words. We all are committed to doing our best and trying to be responsive to the citizens. I know our city staff does a fantastic job with that. Any other public comment? Seeing none. Craig?
No report.
No report? Who would like to go first?
No
Mr. DeWitt?
report.
No report, good. Mr. Kate?
Harbor Transit meeting was September 25th. The big thing coming out of that is that the environmental study for the new Harbor Transit facility should be done April-May timeframe of 2025, with groundbreaking hopefully following shortly thereafter, sometime early that summer of 2025 for the new facility.
Very good. Debbie?
The holiday Halloween party is a go, October 6 to 8 p.m. We're decorating at 1 p.m. in the gym. Anybody that would like to help, we would love to help. We are doing our Christmas tree lighting on the 14th of December. And our light show will be judged by the 12th. So get in your people, anybody that wants to recommend a beautiful lighting of their house, just send it to City Hall. They'll be judged. Got some prizes. In the tree lighting, we'll have Santa and hot chocolate and donuts. It's always fun. We have a star this year at the top of our tree.
Jerry?
Yes, actually, I have a question for Craig. Craig, I've been getting a lot of questions about walk your e-bike through the trails and some of our parks. Can you explain that? When did that come about? I thought we okayed e-bikes on our bike paths and sidewalks.
We were getting some complaints about the e-bikes coming in off the street, going through the Coast Guard Park on the paved path. So we asked them to walk their bikes through there.
Okay, all right. I'm just curious.
Sure.
Yep, there's been some discussion about it. So wanted to know what was going on with it. So it was basically a safety
issue, correct?
issue that, okay. All right. That's all.
Just one little tidbit about KLH Dune Preserve Board. I reported last meeting that the shoreline restoration project was finished, not so fast. We had some extra funds available. We came in under budget for that project. So instead of returning the funds, the board looks like they're going to add some more woody structures to the shoreline. So almost done, not quite done, but soon to be improved. End of report.
Great. The erosion out there is absolutely stunning, looking at the time-lapse photography over the years. It's great to get that addressed. Craig, there was a couple dates that we need to talk about, and that was the fire department open house.
Next Monday, 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock at the fire station.
Next Monday.
Correct, 14th.
And then the Ottawa Sands dedication, the 17th.
That's correct.
Okay.
Reservations are due on the 10th, I think. Yep.
Yes, that's correct. Other than that, I have nothing else. End of report.
Motion adjourned.
Thank you.